Hello to everybody and welcome to the online classes. And our main event was conducted the online classes, that is the Diamond Group of Institutions, and I am Chandrasekhar, Faculty of Zoology. Today we will discuss some other questions. Of course, some of the important questions of a new topic that is called structural organization in animals. Of course, in which lesson certainly the characters will be discussed like that. What is the structure, shape, size and the different unique characters of the living organism like symmetry, coelom and different tissues also, and the type study of the earthworm, frog and as well as frog will becomes. Earthworm and cockroach will becomes. So that's it is very important regarding the CET also. Now we are supposed to discuss the some of the important questions and which will give confidence to do the questions in CET itself. Okay. Now we go for this. Now we go first for the discussion of some of the questions. Now one of the question. Male genital aperture of earthworm is located in the segment. Of course, in earthworm, they are the monoecious. Male and female reproductive systems are confined to the only one organism. The female genital pore is one, which is located on ventral side of the 14th segment. And in case of male genital pores, two in number, they are opened on the ventral surface of the 18th segment. During the copulation, certain the male genital pores are permit the outcome of the sperms to come in or to fertilize with the ovum itself. Now, just what we have to identify this, what is the segment which bear a pair of male genital pores. Now, A option is like that 13, B option is the 19, and C option is the 14. And D option is the 18. So what is said the 18th is the correct and which is included under D. So I am opting the D option for this question. Okay. And after that you go for the second question. In cockroach, egg can be moved in all directions. For what is the reason for that? How the head of the cockroach can be moved in all the directions. Okay. Options are like this. Options are make there is no movement of the head itself. B, the fusion of all 6 segments of head. Of course, the head is formed by the 6 of the segments during the embryonic development. But here, while the head of the cockroach is constituted by 6 segments, it is not a correct reason to permit the head to move in all directions. And C, the flexible neck is present. Of course, due to the flexibility of the neck is permitted the head part of the cockroach to move in all the directions. That's why C option is correct. And whereas D option small size and light in height itself. Of course, it is not at all connected to this question. Only the C option is related to this question, that is called flexible neck, and I am opting the C option for this question. And after that, we go for the another question. What is the difference in humans and frogs RBC? Because of the frog and the human beings are also belongs to the class, of course, subphylum that is called vertebrate, and naturally little difference because of the human beings are belongs to the class Mammalia, and we having a lot of advanced character than frog itself. What is the difference in between RBC of human being and as well as frog itself? The options are like this. Human RBC of nucleus. Human RBC do not have any RBC, that's why A option is just human RBC of nucleus. The C option is not correct. When you take the first option A, human RBC are non-nucleated. Of course, human RBC are non-nucleated. This is the correct option. Whereas B option is the HB is found only in human RBC. This is also right. Because of whatever the hemoglobin is so far present in the human blood, that is confined to the RBC itself. And C option, human RBC have nucleus? No, there is no nucleus. That's why the RBC of the human being is denucleated or enucleated. Enucleated when you compare with the RBC of the frog itself, because of the RBC of the frog is naturally having the nucleus itself, and the option is the human RBC are multinucleated. There is no nucleus, so that's why human RBC are not at all having the multinucleated condition itself. Now in this question the first option is related with this, that is A, human RBC are non-nucleated or enucleated itself, enucleated. And after that, now you go. Now after that, you go for the other question. The method of respiration. The method of respiration in frog during the hibernation and estivation. What do you mean of hibernation and estivation? Hibernation is nothing but the winter sleep, and estivation is simply called as the summer sleep between. Just that means the extreme, the condition of the winter and extreme conditions of the summer. Here the frog just doesn't want to lead their life in extreme condition. In order to avoid the extreme conditions of the winter, it can be dig out the burrows and hide in the soil. That condition or the process can be named as the hibernation. Like that, if to avoid the unfavorable conditions during the summer, again the frogs can be, particularly the amphibians can be, dig out the burrows and hide in the soil to avoid the unfavorable condition. That condition can be named as the estivation. During this two of the conditions, and how the frog can be respire oxygen for sake of live for a long time itself. Now options are like that. A, cutaneous respiration. The cutaneous respiration is simply stimulated or affected by the presence of the moist skin itself. And after that, B, buccopharyngeal. Buccopharyngeal respiration is one among the 3 types of the respiration of the frog, but it is not connected with the hibernation and as well as estivation itself. And after that, C option, pulmonary. Pulmonary means is a kind of respiration which is operated by lungs of the frog, which is also not connected with this this question. And D, the B and C also. Only the A option is correct because of to avoid the unfavorable condition, for sake of intake of oxygen and output of the carbon dioxide, the frog doesn't want to invest much energy. For sake of that, the cutaneous respiration, the best respiration, which can be perfectly operated by the moist skin during the hibernation and estivation. That's why I am selecting the first option for this question. Okay. Now we go for the another question. Structure is not associated with the cockroach. Is. Just carefully read out that structure is not associated with the cockroaches. The first option, A option is the coxa and trochanter. Coxa and trochanter, the two of the parts of the leg of the cockroach. Whereas B option is the septal nephridia. The septal nephridia is naturally confined to the or naturally present in the earthworm to perform the excretion itself. So that's why the septal nephridia is not at all concerned with the cockroach itself. That's why we are opting the B option for this question. Meanwhile, we discuss the C also, ommatidia. Ommatidia is the functional unit of the compound eye of the cockroach itself. D, the chitinous exoskeleton. The external surface of the body of cockroach is covered and protected by the chitinous exoskeleton. It is one of the adaptive character of the cockroach to conserve the water. So what I am saying that A, C and D the options which are related with the cockroach only. The B option which is included septal nephridia, it is not at all concerned with the cockroach. That's why we are just, it is not associated with the cockroach. That's why B option is correct. So I am selecting the B. And after that you go for the next question. Bone is mainly composed of. Bone is mainly composed of. The options are like this. A option iron and phosphorus. Of course B is the sulfur and calcium. No. and C the calcium and zinc, and D the calcium and magnesium. The D option is correct. Calcium and magnesium, these two of the substances are very important substances or constituents to form the healthy bone among all the living organisms. So that's why I opted the D option for this question. We go for other question. Choose the odd pair out in the following. What is the odd pair? You have to select and odd pair from the following options. Now A option, aerial or connective tissue. Aerial or connective tissue is composed by three of the fibers like collagen fibers, reticular fibers and elastin fibers. So that's why aerial or connective tissue is naturally connected with the collagen. Epithelial tissue. Epithelial tissue in some of the parts are keratinized. Epithelial tissue is also present. In some other parts, non-keratinized epithelial tissue is also present. That's why epithelial tissue is also connected with the keratin itself. And after that, the C option is the neural tissue and melanin. Just melanin means it's a colored pigment or pigmented cells. The neural cells are never connected nor concerned with the melanin. So that's why the neural tissue is naturally made with the neurons, nerve fibers only, not with the melanin cells itself, pigmented cells. So that's why the C option is the odd pair from the following options itself. After the D option, muscle fiber. The muscle fiber is naturally composed by two of the fibers itself. Myosin fibers and actin fibers also. That's why the C option is the only option which is very hard, just a hard pair to pick out the C option as the correct option for this question. And after that, now we go for the other question. Mummies of Egypt. Mummies of Egypt still have their preserved due to the presence of. What is the reason and what are the structures can be present in the mummies of Egypt? Still they are preserved and not damaged here because of the following options are given like that. Yellow elastic connective tissue are still present in the mummies of the Egypt. That's why they are still perfectly preserved till today itself. So B option is the white elastic connective tissue fibers. It is not at all concerned with this. And C option is the cartilage, which is also not concerned. And D option is the walls. Walls are also not concerned with the preservation of the mummies of Egypt still preserved. Only the A option is correct. That is called yellow elastic connective tissue fibers can be present in them. So they are permit the mummies of Egypt not to damage. Still today they are looking very fresh and not to so spoil itself. That's why I am opting the A option for this question. Now I am going to read out the another question. Read the statements and select the correct option. And statement 1 is like this: bone and cartilage are rigid connective tissue. Of course, they both are connective tissue, part and parcel of the connective tissue. And statement 2, blood is a connective tissue with the fluid matrix. Of course, the statement is also correct, but unfortunately, the B statement is not correctly explanation, not correct explanation to the statement 1. So naturally, go for the options are like this. Both statements 1 and 2 correct. And statement 2 is a correct explanation of 1, statement 1. No, this is not correct, and B option is the both statement 1 and are correct, but statement is not a correct explanation of 1 itself. So that's why both the statements are correct. Whereas blood is a connective tissue with the fluid matrix which is not supporting the bone and cartilage of the statement 1. That's why the B option is true and correct for this question, and C option is the statement 1 is correct but statement 2 is not correct. It is also not related, and both the statements 1 and 2 are not correct. So the D option is also not correct. This only B option is the correct option for this question. That's why I am opting the B option. Now after that we go for the another question. Simple cuboidal epithelium. Simple cuboidal epithelium lines all the following structures except the following options are so far given. A, the ovary, and B, the pancreatic duct, and C, the thyroid follicles, and D, the fallopian tube itself. Here the ovary and pancreatic duct and thyroid follicles are there. The ovary, the female primary sex organ, and pancreatic duct is one of the endo or mixed gland, and the thyroid gland is the endocrine gland. So, but here the D is the fallopian tube, it is the exceptional structure which is naturally lined with the ciliated columnar epithelium, and this is not at all related with the fallopian tube is the only structure which is not covered with the simple cuboidal epithelium. In case of that, it can be lined with the ciliated columnar epithelium itself. That's why the B option is correct for this question. So, which of the following cells do not form layer and remain structurally separate? Once again, I am read out the question carefully. Which of the following cells do not form layer and remain structurally separate? Options are like this. Epithelial cells, we know that epithelial cells are united to form the epithelial connective tissue, epithelial keratinoid tissue, epithelial non-keratinoid tissue also. So that's why the epithelial tissues are never present separately and they united to form the layer itself. And being the muscle cells are also united to form the muscularis and muscle layer, particularly from the esophagus to all the rectum part. 4 of the layers can be present. One among the 4 layers is the muscle layer also. It means that the muscle cells are also united to form the muscle layer. And various nerve cells, we are not supposed to learn about the nerve layer because of the nerve cells are connected to each other with the help of nerve fibers, but not united to form the nerve layer itself. That's why the nerve cells are the only cells which are always structurally maintained separate and they are not supposed to connect to each other to form the nerve layer in any part of the human being itself or any part of the any living animal itself. So that's why the nerve cells is included under C option. So that's why I opting a C option for this question. And after the D option is the gland cells. Of course we studied that irrespective of the endocrine glands and exocrine glands, they lined with a kind of epithelial tissue, glandular epithelial cells, and glandular epithelial cells are also united to form the glandular epithelial tissue and which are held responsible for the secretion of the hormones, particularly in case of endocrine. In case of exocrine glands, the glandular lining or the glandular epithelial tissue is responsible for the secretion of the so many things like saliva and wax and of course the different enzymes also. These are the only what is the question here. So just for sake of this question, the third option or C option is the correct. And after that we go for the other question. Cardiac muscles are different. Cardiac muscles are different from skeletal muscles as they are. Of course, you know that on the base of nature, on the base of some of the characters, as well as the main important base for the differentiation of the muscles, because that is the location itself. Particularly in skeleton parts, the muscles which are attached to the skeleton or endoskeleton of the human body, that is called skeletal muscle. And the second category of the muscles are simply called as the non-striated and which are present in the visual, some of the important visual organs, they are simply called as the visual muscles. And the third category of the muscles are simply located in the heart part of the human being, they are simply called as the cardiac muscles also. So there is a little difference in between skeletal muscles, visceral muscles and cardiac muscle. So the question is also asking that the cardiac muscles are different from skeletal muscles as they are. A option is the smooth. Of course, the cardiac muscles are exhibiting the intermediate characters of the cardiac muscles and non-cardiac. Just here the smooth muscles and voluntary muscles are non-stated muscles also. Just you see that A option is the smooth, not connected. Of course, partially correct. Voluntary muscles means the stated muscles are simply called the voluntary muscles because of the stated muscles are naturally functions under will and wish or the pain of the human body. That's why voluntary muscles. And C option is the non-stated muscles. Non-stated muscles are nothing but they doesn't have any striations like thin bonds and dark bonds and light bonds are not supposed to present all along the length of the muscle. That's why they are simply called as the non-stated muscles. And D option is the cardiac muscles are naturally concerned or comprises with the stated muscles. They are nothing but voluntary muscles. And after that, the second nature of the second character of the cardiac muscles are the involuntary muscles. That means they are not functions under the orders of the brain itself. Because of till the life, just till the death of the organism, the cardiac muscles has to undergo contraction, relaxation, and permit the heart to undergo systolic and diastolic movement itself. If the brain may be stopped the contraction, relaxation of the cardiac muscle, that will be leads into death of the people itself. That's why they are compared with the stated and involuntary muscles itself. That's why in this question the D option is the correct option for this. Now we go for other question. Which one of the following is which one of the following in parenchyma is correctly matched with this function? The options are given like this. One is the clitellum and concerning the secrets of cocoon. Clitellum is the one of the specialized part which is confined to 14th, 15th and 16th segment of the parenchyma postuma, which is composed by two of the glands like mucous glands and the albuminous glands. The mucous glands are secrete the mucus, and with the help of that the clitellum can be prepared the cocoon for the fertilization or fusion in between sperm and egg itself. Not only that, the albuminous glands are helpful in the production of the nutritive substances. The nutritive substances are also released to the cocoon for the arrangement of the food particles to the embryonic development, which will be takes place within the cocoon itself. And whereas B option is the gizzard. Gizzard is the one of the specialized part which is present in the alimentary canal of the earthworm, which is only meant to grind and masticate the food particles, not with the absorbs or digested food. C option CJ provides difference against predator. It is also not concerned with the function of CJ. CJ or else they are also called KJ, which are performing the locomotion of the earthworm itself. That's why the C option is also not correct its function. And D, the diplosole. The diplosole is concerned with the storage of extra nutrients. It is also not helpful in the storage of extra nutrients. The diplosole is always helpful to enhance the surface area, which is helpful in the absorption of the food particles within the parenchyma postuma. So among the four of the option, A option is correctly connected with that is the clitellum, secrete the cocoon. So that's why I am opting the first option for this question. After that we go for the other question. There is a little difference at the sexual dimorphism can be seen, we studied in between male and female cockroach. Now this question is asking that male cockroach different from female cockroach in having. What is the specialized character may be confined to the male cockroach and permit the people to differentiate the male cockroach to the female itself. The options are like this. A is the antenna, a pair of antenna can be present in both the male and female, which is helpful to knowing the environmental And not only that, a antenna are sensory in function and helpful to locate the prey and footparticles of the cockroach. And B, the labrum. Labrum is nothing but it is simply called the upper lip. Upper lip is one part of the mouth parts of the male and female. It means that labrum is also present in both the male and female cockroach. And after that, see the maxillae. Maxillae is simply differentiated into first pair of the maxillae and the second pair of the maxillae. The second pair of the maxillae are united to form the labium. So that means maxillae is also present in both the male and female cockroach. Exceptionally, the D option is included anal styles itself. Anal styles are the exceptional characters which are confined to the male cockroach, which are made with the unsegmented parts itself. The anal style, the presence of the anal styles permit the people to easily identify and differentiate the male cockroach from the female itself. That's why the D option is correct option for this question. For sake of that, I do select the D option for a correct option for this question. Okay, and after that, you go for the next question. In frogs, mesorchium is a thin fold of the membrane extending between. Once again, in frogs, mesorchium is a thin fold of membrane extending between. Already we studied that the male cockroach and the male reproductive organs are present in the testes, in the form of testes. The testes are naturally connected to the kidneys with the help of attachment of the mesorchium. Mesovagium is another fold of the membrane which is always connecting the ovaries to the kidneys, but there is no functional attachment in between ovary to the kidneys itself. But there is a functional connection in between testes to the kidney because of the testes of the male frog or male reproductive system of the frog, which is able to produce the testes. But unfortunately, just here the testicular ducts are not present and the fallopian duct-like structures are not present and to directly release the sperms into the environmental water. So for sake of options of that, to compensate the options of that, the vasa efferentia of the testes are simply opened into the bitter canal. Bitter canal is present in the kidneys. And through the bitter canal, whatever the sperms are so far produced by the testes of the frog, they are directly released into the water during the copulation in between male and female frog itself. Okay. And after that, just here in frog mesorchium is a thin fold of the membrane extending between. Options are like this: two of the testes. No, there is no connection in between two testes. B, the liver and the kidney. There is no connection liver and the kidney. Both the structures are not connected to the mesorchium. And C, the two kidneys. Of course, two kidneys are not connected to the mesorchium. Only the fourth option or D option is like that. Kidneys and the testes itself. Now, naturally, the testes are functionally attached to the kidneys with the help of mesorchium. That's why the D option is the correct option for this question. So, I to select the D option as the correct option for this question. And after that, now we go for the other question. The skin of the frogs. The skin of the frog does not contain. Of course, you know that the skin of the frog is the most important part of the frog because of unfavorable conditions like estivation and hibernation. We discussed that just in earlier, and certainly during the hibernation or estivation or else in normal life, the skin of the frog is always moist in nature and a lot of mucus glands are scattered on the external surface of the skin of the frog to secrete the mucus. By secreting the mucus, the skin of the frog is always moist in nature. That is helpful in the cutaneous respiration. The chief respiratory organ of the frog is also called as the skin itself. Of course, though it is a very important respiratory organ, what are the specialized structures are present segment and what it not contains any specialized structures, and the options are like this. Cutaneous gland, what is it? They are simply called as the mucous glands, which are scattered different places of the skin to secrete the mucus to maintain the moist nature of the skin itself. Here the lymph spaces are present inside, and option that what is it? The mucous glands are also present, and the D option is the scales are the only structures which are not confined to the skin of the frog. That's why the D option is not at all connected with the skin of the frog. That's why the D option is correct option for this question. And now this with the help of this question I am concluding this class, and we'll meet again next class next day itself. Thank you.